Byte Podcast Network.
The guy in the white mask who walks around and stalks babysitters.
If I ever need help, who's a better consigliere than my father?
I was born when she kissed me. I died when she left me. I lived a few weeks while she loved me.
What is it you want, Barry? What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Media Byte podcast. Podcast about media as a whole, in general, music, movies, video games, and anything of the sort. Here with me, my co-host of this podcast is
Ev Doggy.
That's not your legal name. What's your legal name?
Evan.
Hi, Evan. I don't know who you are. Who are you?
My name's Evan. I'm 21. Yeah.
He's 21. Yeah, that's all that's about him. He's my brother. This is my brother. Hello. Hi, brother.
Hi, brother.
And well, this podcast we kind of started, and the company as a whole, we kind of started as a way of creating just a place to talk about movies and music and video games and whatever else we really wanted to talk about. Today we are talking about the currently upcoming, if you're listening to this any period past 3 days from now, then it won't work. And this does not really work out very well for you. But currently the upcoming Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cucumber.
And well, basically we'll be talking about all kinds of just theories, what we think might happen in the movie, and then after this we will come back and see what we can potentially do, like what we got right and what we got wrong when we get to that point after the movie's over. So that'll be the next episode. But what we really should dive into is this episode, since this episode is obviously the most important. So yeah, we're going to get into the theories of the Multiverse of Madness and just in general, everything about this movie, this upcoming Marvel feature film, 1 hour and 2 minutes long. No, I don't know how long it is.
It better be longer than an hour and 2 minutes off.
It's just all of the cameos quickly shoved into an hour and 2 minutes. As much fan service as they can possibly get, just quickly done. But yeah, so kind of first off, let's talk about the cameos and what we think will actually, like, what cameos will actually happen in this movie, and how we think that will portray into future films, as well as what, like, WandaVision, Loki, and Moon Knight potentially may have a in Hawkeye have a potential correlation with this film and the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So first off, I wanted to see what you, from just what's been officially released. We're not going to be discussing any leaks in this podcast, so you don't have to worry about any leaks or anything like that. I was interested to see what you think, what leaks or what fascinates you about the cameos that we know that are confirmed, and what interests you about the cameos that we may potentially have.
Well, I don't even know which ones are confirmed for sure.
Captain Carter is confirmed because of the images in the trailer. And this is a theory, not confirmed, but Professor X. And I'm pretty sure that, I mean, we can kind of guess that the version of Captain Marvel from What If will be featured in it. That's true. The evil Doctor Strange is confirmed to be in this film, per the teaser at the end of No Way Home, which is also a movie that you need to watch in order to understand this movie, because I'm sure it's going to have a lot to do with this movie as well as the future of these movies going into Phase 4, the end of Phase 4 into Phase 5. Well, we know that Captain Carter is confirmed based on the shield. We know that the evil Doctor Strange is confirmed. We know that Captain Marvel is probably the one.
And from what I've heard, I don't know what her name is. It's the something. It's not Carol. It's another.
There's another character, Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's Captain Marvel.
No, not Miss Marvel. I forget the name off the top of my head, but either way, she's gonna be confirmed to be in it. I believe at the end there will probably be a Deadpool cameo talking about something. This movie will probably have I would guess that he would be in it in some way, in some shape, especially at the end, where he'll probably be the end credit scene. Probably, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
My original thought was that the Thor Love and Thunder teaser was going to be at the end of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And not, I thought that was, because remember they didn't tease anything about Doctor Strange until we saw it at the end of No Way Home. So one thing that's really interesting about just all of this, I think that this is going to really begin where a lot of people don't like about the MCU is how fan servicey and kind of, how do you put that into words? The fan service and the kind of just the cash grabs kind of feelings that a lot of the more recent Marvel movies have had to a degree. While they make sense and they fit storyline wise, I can understand why somebody could be upset at No Way Home featuring the two other Spider-Men.
I disagree. I don't know how you could possibly be upset with that. I will personally go to that person's house and give them a love letter.
Oh, okay. You'll give him a love letter.
But I digress.
But I can understand it. Not that I personally feel that way either. It's just I also understand that there's something to do with the way that it feels so maybe we'll feel like once we get inside Multiverse of Madness, what the cameos that we haven't seen yet feel like.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any other cameos, which I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that we haven't really heard about yet. But I'm interested to see what happens with. So let's kind of pivot away from the cameos because we can get into a lot of discussion there. Basically, I think Deadpool will be in it in some way. I think the beginning of the Fantastic Four will start some way in this. And potentially introducing more characters that like WandaVision, a lot more depth with WandaVision's characters. Well, so let's talking about WandaVision. Let's move into kind of how this movie will be kind of dealing with the repercussions of No Way Home and WandaVision specifically, as well as just kind of the way the world is at that point in regards to, well, the ending of WandaVision, where that town is at, and kind of where Wanda's brain is and where she will be going into this, considering the second loss of Vision.
Well, I think she's going to be the bad person. I think it's kind of confirmed. I feel like she's going to be she might not be the big baddie, but I don't, it's probably Evil Strange, but I feel like she's going to be pretty bad too, based on what we can see in the trailer.
Yeah, and I think I can understand why that might happen. I feel like they have to what they should do, if they're gonna set up her to be a bad character, that shouldn't be so quickly yet. I don't think she should be a minor bad character still helping out Doctor Strange.
Well,
in this film.
I don't
and
know.
Then,
it's not like it.
and then in the next 2-3 films later on, then she's the full bad character of that movie. Whatever movie that is, she can like be the villain of that.
If I can say something, I don't think she's. I feel like WandaVision delved into that a little bit, her being evil, because I mean she took what was it, 30 people hostage in a whole town.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It
So
did.
I feel like it's not
did.
out of left field for her to be evil. I understand what you mean.
It's not, but I don't feel like what we saw at the end of WandaVision was her coming to a place of peace regarding everything that she had done. Like, she regretted what she had done. She wasn't happy that she did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like if all of a sudden in this movie, 15 minutes into it, we know that Wanda's bad, that kind of regret, that kind of just backpedals the whole ending of WandaVision. But I am also interested, at what point do we meet Wanda in this movie? Because the trailer shows, you meet Wanda in that field. That's like really the first time they met each other. So is that like an hour into the movie, or is that in the first like 10 minutes?
See, that's a good question. Maybe by this point, I don't know. Maybe she's not the bad person at first. Maybe it's Evil Strange, and then something happens, or maybe they end up teaming, or something like that.
I think what's potentially is possible is that there's an alternate version of Vision that comes out of the multiverse.
What do you think? It's White Vision, whatever his name was.
It could be
Division?
Division. I think whatever version of Vision, like, I think what might happen is there's a version of Vision that comes out of the multiverse that is perfectly healthy. There's no issues with this version of Vision. And because it's not a version of Vision that she created in her own mind, it's not one that ever has to disappear from her. And so then she fights Doctor Strange along with the evil Doctor Strange, because that Doctor Strange lost his like girlfriend or wife or whatever it was. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe what happens was, so Wanda and normal Doctor Strange were fighting each other normally, like they were fighting each other, and Wanda comes to try to help stop the multiverse. But then when evil Doctor Strange discusses his understandings and what he's going through with the loss of his like girlfriend or wife, and so then a version of Vision comes out of the multiverse that won't die when Wanda's done with, like, Wanda stops the power. It's a real life person, and a person that doesn't have any like negative feelings towards her.
Question. This is completely different. Do you think that it's the Evil Strange from What If?
Yeah.
Okay, and then how do you think he gets out of that little bubble thing that he was in?
Well, you remember, what's his name? Ultron went between the universes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm guessing that version of Doctor Strange did the same thing. I don't remember the ending of What If, but I remember that they were able to switch they were going between the universes to all combine into one. Remember? They were going in between the universes. Ultron got all the Power Stones and is able to transport between universes. Which, that's another interesting conversation. Will we see that version of Ultron? Because that version of Ultron,
Maybe he'll come back later.
that's what I was thinking, is maybe the Ultron with the Power Stones will be the version, will not be Kang. I think Kang will be set up for a longer big battle at the end, like closer to phase like 6. Probably the end of phase 6 will be Kang, but I think at the end of phase 4 into the beginning of phase 5 will be that version of Ultron that everybody has to stop in the next team up movie, because Ultron, they set up that version of Ultron. He's gone through multiple universes. He knows enough about the multiverse at this point to kind of obviously fix all the problems that he can. Um, I actually my big theory right now is honestly that um, Vision, that evil Doctor Strange and Wanda team up together at the end after Wanda realizes that she could keep a version of Vision with herself. And I think that works best. It works, but I think one of the biggest issues about this movie, honestly, is it has the privilege of being a multiverse movie with all of the negatives that come on top of that. Because how is this movie going to be a Doctor Strange movie? Is the really important question.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be him trying to stop the multiverse? Is it just going to be him defeating the other version of himself? Who is the bad guy? What does Doctor Strange have to do with any of it? Is it because he started the multiverse? Is he the reason why he feels like he has to end it?
Yeah.
And will it all be centered around that? And with that there's something that really is bothering me is how much of Doctor Strange will be the forefront of this issue, like of the movie. Will Doctor Strange be secondary? Will he be up front? What do you think?
I think he's going to be a major part because it is his movie. It's only his second movie. You know what I mean? So I think he will be a major part of it. I mean, at least I hope he is. He doesn't deserve a second movie just with a bunch of cameos, which I hope they are. I hope there is a bunch of cameos. I hope they're cool, but I hope he gets like his second movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I think that one of the major issues is Doctor Strange was so experimental and out there, and like Sam Raimi's direction, which it's freaking Sam Raimi. We have to give him props. He knows what the he's doing. But when we really gets down to it, can he direct a movie with such rotating parts? I mean, Evil Dead 2 is such a comedy film. It's a comedy horror movie, and Evil Dead is not. And then Army of Darkness is a whole separate rotation, but the whole separate movie. But when he makes this kind of movie, what is he going to bring? Like, I wish Sam Raimi was directed a different film
Instead of Multiverse of Madness.
instead of this one. Personally, because I worry so much. Again, this is all before I know anything about the movie. So when the movie comes out and this is all wrong, don't judge me too much. But what I worry about is will his direction benefit the film, or will he be constantly battling the strives of a Marvel movie against what he's trying to do? Like, because, and also I want it to feel like a Sam Raimi Marvel movie. I don't want it to feel like a Marvel movie with hints of Evil Dead in it. Like, there's just so much that I'm not looking forward to in regards to that I have hopes and I have no hopes for. Because, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go wrong with the way that Sam Raimi directs shots and the way that he's always directed shots, even since Into the Woods, or whatever it's called, the pre-requel to Evil Dead. It's just Evil Dead, but with no budget, even lower budget than the Evil Dead. It's a whole different story. But I worry a lot about what Sam Raimi will actually bring to the table here in regards to what he could have done, what he could do, like in a more straightforward film. Like if he directed like Captain America, some kind of like the newest Captain America movie or something, I feel like he could be with the writer and kind of write towards his idea and how he feels about everything. But but then on the other hand of that, Multiverse of Madness feels closer to like a horror movie than a Captain America movie would be. And he's obviously known for directing horror comedies, which this would obviously be. I don't know. What do you think? Well, do you think Sam Raimi will pull out in the end, or do you think that he will have faults as it moves on?
I think based on the trailers that we've seen so far, I feel like it's pretty well directed, and so there's one shot I'm thinking of when it zooms in on. I can't remember what trailer it's in, but it zooms in on someone's face. Oh, it zooms in on Wanda's face, and it reminds me of like Spider-Man, kinda.
Yeah, and and there's another scene where you see the cape pushing through the city of New York, and that's something that he did an amazing job in his Spider-Man trilogy, which we have to consider. This man directed Spider-Man's 1, 2, and 3, so he knows what he's doing. And like you gotta understand, he knows what he's doing here. And so what I worry about is, will we, because from little bits that I've known about people who've seen this movie, they've said that New York feels like a character again, like it did in Spider-Man 2. Whereas personally in any besides No Way Home. No Way Home does a good job of really feeling kind of in New York, but Far From Home is obviously not in New York, and Homecoming doesn't really. It feels like it could be in Chicago or like really any suburb with a skyrise in it, and nothing would really change. So I want to quit real quick before we end the podcast. I wanted you to give your first kind of overall thoughts. What do you think the movie will be? What do you think you'll like it? What do you think about this movie will get people talking about it? Just kind of overall thoughts about the movie, and then we can come back after we've seen it and kind of talk about what we thought moving into it.
Okay, I think it's gonna be good. I have no like doubts it's gonna be bad. I mean, I don't even know if there's ever been a bad Marvel movie. I mean, there probably has. You can probably name one.
Black Widow. It's that good. It was. Sorry, real quick rant. Black Widow came out. Black Widow should have been made in 2012, 2011. The fact that it came out like 2 years ago is absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason why that movie should have come out as late as it did. There's no reason for it. Exactly. There's no reason for a Black Widow movie to be made. Go ahead.
I feel like the only reason it came out when it did is because of the Hawkeye tie-in.
Well, and the first time that I forget which character it was. It was I think it's the character that Elaine plays in that Elaine from Seinfeld plays in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah.
That character we were supposed to see for the first time in Black Widow, but because it came out second, we didn't even see her in Black Widow first. We saw her in Falcon and the Winter Soldier first, before we saw her in Black Widow. So it really didn't even work in that regard. But yeah, go ahead.
So I think it'll be good. I don't have any doubts it won't be good. I think based upon just the fact that Professor X is going to be in it, what that means for the future of like the MCU, I feel like that's fucking cool. I mean, it'd be fucking awesome to see the X-Men again.
Yeah.
Even if it's completely different actors, I don't care. I want to see them in the MCU. That'd be fucking awesome. And the fact that they can bring like Deadpool to the MCU and just, I don't know, have him do Deadpool things, that'd be very cool.
I do think we will see Deadpool in this film in some capacity as his first introduction. It's been a while since they've officially confirmed whether or not a Deadpool movie will be how it's going to play into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how it should play into it. I do think we'll see him in some capacity, just being stupid in some way or the other. Well, yeah. So my personal thoughts. I think this movie will be good. I think it'll be a mid to high tier film. In the cinematic universe is specifically what I'm talking about. I'm not comparing this movie to Citizen Kane at all. It's not what I'm doing. I'm comparing everything to, in regards to the cinematic universe as a whole. I think this will be a mid to high tier entry. I think we'll see cameos that we haven't even gotten glimpses of or hints of. Specifically, I don't think that they would have shown everything in the trailers, and I think it's possible that we'll see trailers that we like cameos that we don't even know, or cameos that we saw that we don't even think that we saw that aren't actually what they were. But that's basically all of this. So yeah, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Media Byte podcast. Come back for the next episode after we see Multiverse of Madness and we discuss the film in the whole in a very spoilerific ways. Do you want to go ahead and plug anything that you would like to plug, and then I'll plug after you?
Just my Twitter. Let's see what it is. My @ is @evdoggy321.
All right, go follow @evdoggy321. You can follow me @JarJarYT or @Jared Pointer, PoynerJared. And you can follow all of the podcasts in the Media Byte Podcast Network, Exploring Cinema /Hit Podcast, JNA Podcast, as well as this podcast. Listen to them. I am in most of them, if not all of them. I think I am in all of them because I do a lot of podcasts. You can go and go follow and watch the videos on the /Hit channel. You can follow me, and all of them are on Twitter. /Hit is @/HitHorror. Exploring Cinema is Exploring Cinema. JNA Podcast is J&A_podcast. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all the plugs. Stay tuned. We will have some more videos on the channel, as well as more podcast episodes. And follow us on Instagram, Media Byte Co. Twitter is Media Byte Co. as well. Yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching. I don't know what you'll be watching, but I hope it's not the videos because there's some crazy filters going on right now. So I gotta make sure to not do that. Well, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening and watching, and like always, like what we always say,
Eat the cookie.
Eat the cookie. We always say eat the cookie.
I do say eat the cookie.
We say that.
Eat the cookie. Goodbye.